Hello, everybody. This is Mike Smith at the Brokerage Inc. And today we're going to be discussing a new marketing opportunity that we're putting together with a nationwide company that you may be familiar with called Liberty Tax Service. So today's session is being recorded, and we will be posting that on our website for you. And if you have any questions during the session, what I would like for you to do is, if you can see over here on the right side of my screen, there's an area where if you go and click on questions and expand on that, right there you may ask a question, and if so, we will give you an answer as a follow-up. There may be some time for discussion here as well, so please feel free to ask your questions in this answer because the phone lines have been muted. I would also like to introduce a gentleman from Florida. Steve Doletsky is on the line with us. Steve is the one who is working with me to put the deal together to Liberty Tax. Steve, are you there?
I am. Thanks, Michael.
Okay, great. Thank you, Steve. Let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk very briefly about a couple of things here. First, we want to start out by answering the question, who is Liberty Tax? And then we'll follow up by answering the question, who is the brokerage? And for many of you on this line, you already know a lot about us, but some of you are brand new to us, and so we want to touch on some quick bullet points on who is Liberty Tax and who is the brokerage. And we want to get into the actual opportunity here for you to sell both Medicare and or ACA type products. And then we want to discuss with you what the requirements are to participate. And then if you are interested in participating, what would be the next steps that you might need to take in order to become a part of this unique program. So let's get started by answering the question, who is Liberty Tax? And as you can see here from my screenshot, you can reach them online at libertytax.com. And I would suggest that you, as a follow-up to this webinar session, actually go online and review their website. It's extremely comprehensive, very professional, and you'll get a lot of information out of just the research that you're going to need to do. And obviously, if you're going to make a choice to work with us in this manner, the key thing that we're looking for is a serious commitment. The only way that I can help you to know what the deal is for you to actually take some of this initiative and go and research Liberty Tax, and perhaps even go by and just visit one of the franchisees that are in your own backyard. And there are many opportunities for you to do that. As you can see here, they have over 4,000 offices nationwide. And when you visit a Liberty Tax office, you can rely on real help from real people for products and tax services with real benefits. This is kind of their tagline. So if you can imagine you being one of those real people helping the customers with real products, and then being able to also dive into some of the other things that tie into their tax preparation, I think this is a very nice marriage, a very hand-in-glove fit, where we in the ACA business have been dealing with subsidies and cost-sharing reductions and things of that nature. We ought to know by now, after 3 enrollment seasons, how important it is that we understand what the household income is and be able to properly represent what that particular person may qualify for in the way of subsidies. So obviously, we cross into other areas within our insurance aspects, and we touch on things like taxation issues. Sometimes we're asked to interpret medical records. Other times it might be helping people with a formulary match for an ACA product. So we touch on many areas, but certainly when it comes to subsidies, being involved on the tax side is extremely important. And then on the tax side, it's also very valuable when you're able to see someone's tax return, and we've done webinars on this before, where you're able to identify potential areas where they may have other product needs. And as an insurance professional, to be able to identify those type of needs and address them with real solutions, to me, is a very valuable thing. And that's why I feel like this is a very good relationship here with Liberty Tax. They do both personal tax preparation as well as business tax preparation. And they offer several online services for businesses that include accounting services, bookkeeping, payroll, and invoicing services. So Liberty Tax is quite a comprehensive business franchise opportunity. and I would encourage you to look forward, more into this as we hang up here in a little bit and actually research them online and potentially go and visit one of the franchisees. Steve, is there anything here that you would like to add?
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Great job explaining the opportunity. Overall, as you stated, the hand-in-glove opportunity. I will say that just be aware of the fact that we're a large organization. We are a franchised organization, and certainly encourage you to go and visit stores and check things out. Now, remember, we have thousands and thousands of employees, so when you do inquire or ask questions, the situation may take place where the person you inquire with may not be aware of, this program in specific. So any sort of specific questions that you have about this opportunity, about what this might mean for you moving forward, I encourage you to work through Mike and myself and my direct staff, and we can get you the more of an intimate and real accurate explanation of any specific questions that you might have. So just be mindful of the fact that when you do go inquire, they're going to know all about Liberty. They're going to know all about what they do. But with respect to this opportunity, you're going to want to get those specifics from these sources that you're hearing from today. So, let's just move forward with that. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent point. And as you said, these are independently owned franchise operators. So there are going to be some of them that are going to be gung-ho about this opportunity, and then there's some that just might not be interested at all. But you're right. The best thing to do as a follow-up would be to reach out to the brokerage and let us try to vet the process with you and then connect you with Steve's office so that you can take it to the next step. So thank you for that insight, Steve.
Yeah, and I might add that, we know who the real gung-ho franchisees are. We've went out and we've asked, hey, who's interested? We've explained this opportunity. Some folks didn't tune in at all, just like some folks aren't on this call, right? I mean, successful people do the things that unsuccessful people just sometimes aren't willing to do. You guys have all shown that you're willing to do what it takes to be successful, and we've got franchisee relationships just like that. So we know who's gung-ho about this. So get with us, and we'll direct you to those opportunities because we absolutely have opportunities in your area.
Excellent. Thank you, Steve. All right, so I went ahead and just as a point of reference, wanted to look at the situation as it relates to health insurance and use this as just an example of how tuned in and plugged in Liberty Tax is to the Affordable Care Act, and let you realize, again, this is a very comprehensive website where you can get a ton of information about Liberty Tax, but I want you to also specifically review the information about health insurance and your taxes. So again, please, as a takeaway, do a little research, do a little homework, and try to determine if this is an opportunity that you would like to know more about. Let's switch gears just briefly and talk quick about who is the brokerage. And we're very proud of the fact that we are now celebrating our 40th year anniversary here. We have a comprehensive set of benefits in the life, health, and accident space. We are not property and casualty licensed, and we do not work in the securities industry. So it's all strictly life, health, and accident. And the majority of our income has historically come from a health insurance related dollar. That includes Medicare. And now we have also built ourselves a nice portfolio of life insurance contracts and have a very nice business coming in there as well. So wonderful crew, stable crew, doesn't turn over a lot, generally communicates very well with each other. And our philosophy here at the brokerage is very simple, that the only way that the brokerage can succeed is by first making our business partners more successful. Our business partners are our insurance agents, the independent insurance agents that work in Texas and throughout the United States. So if we're going to make ourselves more successful, there's no mix-up with the cart and the horse. We first have to bring meaningful marketing programs to our business partners such as this, and some people are going to take the bait and run with it, and others are just going to say that's not for me, but that's okay. We just want you to realize that it's our job to keep bringing these kind of opportunities to you, and that's what keeps me going. That's what energizes me, is to try to come up with ways to help you become more successful in your own business practice. So we specialize in life, health, and accident. We have a very strong agent database here in Texas with over 2,500 agents that are licensed, appointed, and now certified to sell ACA and Medicare-related products. Actually, that number is a little higher than that now, but when it comes to a footprint where anywhere from El Paso to Texarkana down to the Rio Grande Valley and up north into the Panhandle, we've got the bases covered. And I think that's really something that when Steve and I first started pontificating and kind of dreaming about how this might be put together, it was very easy for him, I think, and I'm not speaking for him, to see that, hey, wherever we have a franchise, the brokerage has agents. So this could be a very nice match. And today, this webinar here, this session represents our first step out of the box to say, here's what we're trying to put together. It's maybe not perfect right now, and we may not even be thinking of everything that we need to think of, so we're very interested in your feedback. We don't want to make mistakes. We would like for our first step out of the box to be a smooth run, but just like anything, when you try something different, there's probably going to be a hiccup and a little speed bump in the road, but let's have good communication and excellent feedback, and I'm asking your solicitation here that you would give back to us to say, hey, have you thought about this, Mike, or what is the deal here? And let us take those ideas back and make them better so that when we launch this, everybody's on the same page, and our first step out of the box here is going to be a positive move, and we know that if we do it right the first time, then next year and the years beyond would only be stronger. That's the idea behind it, but we certainly appreciate any feedback that you can give to us at this point. We also conduct a lot of training every week all throughout the year on various product lines. We believe that a strong agent is a knowledgeable agent, and we also believe that with that knowledge comes more success. So we do a lot of training, face-to-face, webinars, one-on-one, whatever we can do to help you become more successful. We believe training is the key to that in the first step. We also offer a very comprehensive website, just like Liberty Tax does, and we have on our website free quote engines for things related to term life insurance or Medicare or the ACA, International Major Medical, just to name a few. We also have secure document upload features and more. We post webinars like this on our website, so if you've not had a chance to visit thebrokerageinc.com, as a follow-up to this, we'll send you a link and you may click that and explore. And again, the point here is that we would really appreciate your feedback. Now, as far as the sales opportunities, certainly I'm not speaking for Steve, but of the subjects that we've talked most about already, certainly the ACA is right there. Liberty has been doing this for the last couple of years, so they're somewhat versed in the ACA. It would be a desire on both parties here to write more Medicare business as well, so there could be opportunities there, although I think the chief opportunity here, simply because of the demographics of their customers, most of the opportunities would be ACA related. Anything you'd like to add to that, Steve?
Yeah, we feel that we've got opportunities in both of those areas. If someone brings their knowledge and certification with them and then blends into the cross-training that we're going to offer on the tax side, you know, you're going to be a powerful, knowledgeable person in that point, and there's going to be opportunity in both of those spectrums. We have developed more on the ACA side, but certainly in our relationship with the brokerage, we look to really just serve our clients and whatever might make sense for them. We have millions of clients, and there's going to be different needs with each one, and we feel this relationship and helping you with continuing knowledge can just better serve our clients and expand our client base. So yeah, both arenas we feel pretty bullish about.
Yeah, I would agree, and I'll go back to a point I made earlier. Certainly with health insurance related products, especially Medicare and ACA, these are products that generally most Americans seek advice on and are in some cases required by law to have. So we want to play to that strength, and at the same time, while that might be what starts the relationship between you and that person through Liberty Tax, obviously they have other needs, and it's up to you as a professional to explore those needs and then be able to properly address that. At this point, though, we're trying to limit those extra opportunities because we're trying to stay simple, use the KISS method, keep it simple, silly, and then bring this to the market in a manner that is defined by the ACA and or Medicare at this point, and then be able to take a look at what went right, what went wrong, make adjustments on how we could make this program more comprehensive, and improve it so that when we bring on additional product lines into the future, it'll be done so with a good thought process that would make good common sense for all people involved. All right, as far as the requirements to participate, at this point, again, not trying to bite off more than we can chew, we're trying to focus more on the state of Texas. Doesn't mean that we won't be able to go into other states. So if you're in another state of Texas, simply call me and we can talk about what opportunities that you might want to do in your own state. And we'll keep an open mind to that. But just, again, trying to keep this somewhat clean and, again, simple so that when it is launched, we're not confusing too many things and juggling too many bowling balls. We would like to try to keep it focused on the state of Texas for right now. Now, one of the main product lines for the Affordable Care Act, of course, is Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. And not that I want to get into a product discussion with them right now, but I have had it given to me on several accounts that Blue Cross will be in all 254 counties in the state of Texas, and I have no reason to doubt that. I've also been told that they'll have product both on and off exchange, and again, I have no reason to doubt that. And Blue Cross Blue Shield is doing agent training workshops beginning next week, and they'll last for several weeks, and they'll be in every major city in the state of Texas. So if you have a chance, please review your emails from Blue Cross and go to one of those road shows to learn about more specifics. I don't have any information on changes as far as commissions are concerned, but we do anticipate that there will be a lot of activity because Blue Cross has also filed for some pretty big rate increases. We just want to make sure that we're bringing you a comprehensive portfolio, but it will be led by Blue Cross. Now, we do have products in other cities that might not be available statewide, and we'll take a look at those on an as-need basis, but we will keep an open mind about what we need to do to bring a comprehensive portfolio of products to make this relationship a success in this next enrollment period. We do ask that you keep those appointments for the various companies that you may work with right now. We want those to be coming through the brokerage, for obvious reasons. That would be for any ancillary products or Medicare or ACA products that might be discussed through a Liberty Tax franchise. We would appreciate making sure that you keep loyal to those people that are bringing you this program and have those appointments through the brokerage. And as you can see on the screen here, one of the requirements that's going to probably create a lot more questions, and I hope it does get a little discussion going here, that you will need to complete a tax school that's offered through Liberty Tax. And there are various types of ways to go about that, either online or face-to-face or some type of a self-study. The best way I could describe it to you is to just understand that it's going to cost you a couple of $100s and probably an investment of somewhere around 50 to 60 hours of your time. And Steve and I discussed this because we are in the middle of preparing for certifications for the ACA and Medicare, and we're already challenged with those time constraints. And so for some of you, frankly, this is just going to be a deal killer, and we understand that. This is an opportunity that's not going to be for everyone. However, I expect that there will be a few of you on this call that are going to look at this and say, I can see how this will work for me as an independent agent, where I'm going to have an opportunity to work in a professional environment, where I'm going to be in an office where there's going to potentially be significant traffic, where people are going to be coming in that are going to be asking a lot of questions about their health insurance and drug type coverages, both under and over age 65. And we want you guys to be excited about that. But we also want you to be committed. That's extremely important. We have a lot of experience when it comes to retail marketing, where we have had agents working in Walmarts and Walgreens and CVS and major retail chains throughout the United States for the better part of the last decade. We understand the ups and downs and pros and cons of making that kind of commitment. But what we have found is every year we have more and more agents come back to us because of others having success in these retail environments. And so each year the demand for something like this becomes even stronger. And I'm encouraged by that. I know that Steve is as well. We feel like this being a very unique opportunity. This is not a Walmart. This is a Liberty Tax franchise. So there could be better opportunities, I expect, than just having your $500 that you got to pay to get a Walmart and rent that for 7 weeks. So again, keeping an open mind about the possibilities here, we want you to be committed to enroll people with ACA products at a minimum. And as you know, the ACA enrollment period this year is starting on November 1st and ends on January 31st. And if you write business anywhere, say between January 16th through January 31st, that's going to be more or less a March 1st effective date. So, you do have an opportunity to work several months. And of course, the month of January becomes a pivot month where we change particular interest from ACA and enrollment to preparing taxes. And at that point, you would be asked to make a commitment through at least the middle of April. Clearly, we understand April 15th being the tax deadline. So realistically, you may have an opportunity to work here year-round, but at a minimum, we would need you to be committed through at least April 15th of next year. Steve, would you like to comment or add anything to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Michael. And again, this is primarily an opportunity for you to expand your knowledge, get some additional opportunities within these offices, and then further your client base because of this opportunity. The requirement with respect to your timeline and the calendar of commitment, that's really going to be between you and that franchisee or that store owner that you eventually become involved with. So, my main thing would be to look at the opportunity of being educated. That's knowledge is always a good thing. See if that makes some sense to you. In worst case scenario, you're going to learn more about the tax industry and more about taxes themselves and be a more competent advisor. And then, yeah, it makes sense for a lot of folks to come in, find another income source, and it just puts another bullet in your gun for you to get out there and hunt down business and bring in clientele and really just provide service to people. So that's really where this opportunity is coming from.
Excellent. Thank you, Steve. Okay. Now, you're set up, you're ready to go, kind of interested, don't know where to go from here. What are your next steps? We are going to create an agent participation agreement. I will confess to you right now that is in my head more than it is in my computer, but there are going to be certain common sense basic commitments that we're going to put in writing and we're going to ask you to sign. There's not going to be anything unreasonable. We're not going to ask you to put up a $10,000 deposit or sign off on your firstborn child, but we're going to ask you for a commitment. We do need you to have some skin in the game. History does repeat itself, and in those times when we've been more lenient, we've had less commitment. When we've had a strong urgency to make sure you have a commitment, we've had much better success. So we're going to ask you to sign some type of a participation agreement so that there's no doubt as to what is expected out of you and what we expect from ourselves to help you better your business and grow your income. Of course, the idea of being here, getting in touch with us as a follow-up to say, hello, I'm from Georgetown, Texas, for example, and I'm in a 786 zip code, and I would like to know what opportunities are available for me in this area. And of course, our charge would be to get in touch with those franchise operators and through Steve's office, vet out the ones who would be best opportunities for you and allow you to go and sit down and kind of kick the tires and coordinate with the franchise owner so that you guys can look each other in the eyes and say, we can do this, or it's just not going to be a fit. But we don't want you walking into something blindfolded. We're not going to ask you to make a commitment on something you don't completely understand or are not fully aware of. So meeting with these franchise owners and understanding each other's needs, obviously that's a very important thing to building a partnership that's built on trust that will ultimately lead to success on both sides of the fence. Should you decide, of course, to go forward with this, first steps would be really you need to get enrolled in a tax school quickly. As you look at the calendar here, we're almost finished with, it's crazy to say, but September's gone basically. So we've got about 6 or 7 weeks of preparation before we can really start getting involved with the ACA. I believe that we'll have a little bit of a slow start to the ACA on November 1st, simply because there's this other thing called a presidential election going on that'll certainly divert attention. So it does kind of buy us a little bit of time, but really making a quick decision here is something that I think would be in your best interest. And understanding what you're getting into, obviously we need to get you that information. So action is required on your part to make a decision about getting more information, learning what you're going into, and then should you decide to move forward, we need to get you enrolled in a tax school. And you could almost suggest that if you enroll in the tax school right away, that would probably be the best thing to do, because finding a franchise in your area, you may have 2, you may have 5, you may have 10 different franchises within a 10 or 20, 30-minute drive of your house, and you might want to interview different franchise owners to determine which is really going to be the best fit. But in the process of vetting out those franchise owners, being enrolled and studying and getting the schooling out of the way for the tax school is going to be paramount to your success and ultimately acceptance into this program. Many of you on the call here are already appointed with many of our companies, maybe not all of them, but as a general rule of thumb, you really need to have the top 3 products in your area. That might look different in Houston, Texas than it might look in San Antonio, that might look different in Dallas. So whether that's Humana, Memorial Hermann, and Blue Cross Blue Shield in Houston, it may be Oscar Health, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Humana in San Antonio. But we would need you to get appointed with the top 3 companies. And if you are also competent in Medicare, and we would encourage you to get involved with that if you're not, then we would clearly want you to be appointed with companies like United Healthcare, Aetna Medicare, and Humana, just to name a few. Obviously, those are the big ones that we see out there nationwide, but they're also very important here in our state of Texas as well. And then, of course, getting certified for all the products from these top 3 companies, so that when a person walks in, you're not only appointed, but legally certified to be able to accept an enrollment. We clearly need you to be certified. Nothing is more disappointing to find out one of our agents is being canceled and their appointment is being terminated because they wrote a product that they were not certified to sell, and that is a very real problem, and we seek to avoid that at all costs. And then I would suggest that you start looking at this as a October 15th kind of a start date, because that's when we can begin to take Medicare enrollments. So for those of you involved in Medicare and the ACA, your time frame even moved up a couple of weeks as far as what you need to do next. Steve, let me throw it back to you. Is there anything that you would like to add to this?
Well, just the point that, a qualified tax preparer, which you can become through this course, combined with your insurance license and your ability to navigate and understand some of these complex issues, you're going to be a real asset. This is kind of a matchmaker opportunity where we're going to take some of the best of y'all and then combine you with some of the best of our folks and get you introduced and give you some guidelines of what we feel would make economic sense to where everybody can come out a winner. And we've done this for a couple of years, and of course, just like any relationship, not all the relationships can work out and move forward, but we know we've got a lot of real good franchisees on our side. You put yourself in a position to where you can do tax preparation, perform tax preparation, which in all fairness, I mean, you really can. With our software, with the software that we have inside our offices, you can go through this tax course and you can gain that knowledge to be an efficient, competent tax preparer. And you're going to have support. Don't think you're going to have to go and do tax returns and not really know what's going on. Early on, you'll literally have someone there at your wing, helping you, guiding you, kind of someone in the shotgun seat with you, helping you through the process, and you'll be able to pick that knowledge up. All of you have already shown that you're intelligent folks. You've passed the insurance licensing. You've gone through all the complexities of, being able to sell ACA and Medicare. You're already at the top of your game. If you put your effort towards this and bring this tax knowledge into bear, you're going to be an asset, and you're going to be able to really, name your opportunity with any intelligent franchisee that sees this as an opportunity. So, taking that tax class, getting that knowledge while demanding time frame, I get it, but a compelling opportunity.
Agreed. Thank you, Steve. All right, we tried to keep this to a brief 30 minutes or less. We're up against that time frame, and I'd like to go ahead and terminate the call here. But before we do, we want to make sure you understand as a follow-up, we have questions here that we're going to print out and answer, and then as a follow-up, we'll send the participants an email with all of the questions and with all of the answers. And if you have any immediate questions, the best thing would be to get back in touch with us here at the brokerage as a first step and coordinate that through Belinda. Her direct line is on the screen here at 469-635-6715, or she can also be reached by email at belinda@thebrokerageinc.com. We look forward to getting that feedback from you. We look forward to having a successful enrollment period with Steve and Liberty Tax. And if there's anything that we can do outside of this to help make your life more manageable during a very busy time frame, certainly reach out and let us know how we might be able to help you. On behalf of Steve Duletsky, I'd like to thank you all for your time this morning, and we wish you a very successful enrollment period, whether or not you decide to participate with us, and we look forward to hearing back from you in the near future. Thank you very much for your time and participation.